Want to know how to explain how to do a novation or retail buyer program, whatever you want to call it, to a wholesaler that has a deal that's not a deal because it's not low enough, but you want to explain how they can bring it to the market and get a higher asking price, not only for you, but for the seller? Check out this conversation I just had with this wholesaler. Hey Amber, how's it going? This is Nathan. I'm from my cell phone. Yeah, I'm good. Do you have a couple minutes?
Yes, I'm in mom mode right now, so sorry if you hear some kids.
Oh, no problem. Cool. I wanted to call and kind of get some feedback on, or not feedback, but find out what's going on a little bit further. The buyer that I have is like, yeah, I want it, but they're like not willing to go at the price that you need. So it's just kind of, I just wanted to see if your buyer is going to go through, or how I can help, or what's going to happen, you think?
It seems like that they need longer to get funds in place. And I just don't think that we're going to be able to push it.
Do you think they're like a legit buyer? Or do you think they're like a secret wholesaler that's trying to find someone else?
I don't know. I feel like when I talked to New Western, they said that this is one of their more frequent buyers.
Oh, okay.
Because the last one I was like, they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
It was very clear. Because I buy enough deals on my own that I'm like, I don't know. I was disappointed that they couldn't vet that out.
Well, also, if you're a real buyer, you can usually get funding within 2 days, at most. If you're legit, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, why do they keep needing extensions? If I need to close on something, I can close in 48 hours.
Right, of course.
At this point, I want to remain hopeful and optimistic, but I'm also trying to be cautious. I don't feel like my trust is there with New Western. That's just kind of where I'm at right now. I don't know. I mean, they're saying everything's good, that they can get it all in writing, they can up their earnest. I don't want to be in the same position, so I'm just kind of trying to weigh out options.
Gotcha.
I did send over the gal that I work. I'm not a realtor, but one of the girls in my network, she is. And sometimes we tag team stuff. If we're both just busy. So me and her tag teamed this one, and so I kind of sent her over what bed, and I said, hey, this is just an option that we might be able to do. If we fall out of contract with them, then maybe we can just go fresh start and try this strategy. So I kind of presented that to her as well to see,
Have you ever done that strategy before? Did it make sense?
No, I haven't done that. So I was going to, run it past her and then just see if she wanted to jump on a call, and you could kind of
explain it.
Maybe,
okay.
Yeah. But
no, totally down.
If you have time.
Well, that would be my best, that would be the strategy I would pick, because let's say New Western says they can do this, and then the people go in and they're like, yeah, well, let me just make sure my hard money lender will fund it. And then, if they don't like the numbers, then they back out without really having anything, any consequences, right? And then you look bad. So like I said, I can get on the phone with the seller, and I can kind of help you guys navigate this. I have one in Texas that's closing. I've seen a lot of them being done, and that's just kind of the way people are moving now, is just talking to the sellers and saying, hey, let's just take this to the open market, and we'll take care of pretty much the whole process. You don't have to worry about anything.
Okay. Do you mind if I check with Sabrina and Hermine, the girl I'm working with, and see if she could also just kind of speak to you?
Of course, yeah, I'm totally open.
Everything.
Yeah, I'm totally open to this, because if this works, then hopefully we all could make a lot more on it than just $350 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna try to get Sabrina on the call right now. Is that okay?
Perfect. I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay, one sec. All right, Nathan, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. How's it going?
Sabrina, are you also there? I sure am. Okay. I told her a little bit, Nathan, but if you want to just kind of tell her what the strategy that you've been doing and how it's working for you.
For sure. So Sabrina, I don't know if you've ever heard of the strategy. It's called Novation, doing a novation, or other people call it a retail buyer program. Have you heard of that?
Retail buyer, yes, but I thought the novation was a typo. I was like, what is she talking about? I've never heard of it.
Yeah, so novation is just specific. It's just different paperwork that gets done so you can get paid. But novation, retail buyer program, essentially what it is you're listing the home of the seller in their behalf. So you have them sign a power of attorney attorney or attorney in fact, and it allows you to list the house for them. It allows you to get paid if someone buys it with traditional financing. So like if you wholesale a property, the only way to get paid is through like a hard money lender, right? That can pay you. But like if someone gets like a conventional loan or FHA loan, you can't wholesale a property to that because the bank won't pay you. So this is like the workaround where people are putting properties on the MLS and finding, retail buyers and still being able to get paid when a retail buyer buys a distressed property or a property that like just you had to do a little bit of work to get it qualified for a FHA or conventional financing. So that's what a lot of people are doing to get higher prices. So I was just suggesting that, like, it seems like my buyers, they all came in at like 330 and like 335, and obviously you guys have it at 335, so you'd even have to get lower. But if you were to take this to the open market and tell the seller, hey, like, we're gonna put this in front of more people, more investors, you won't have to pay any commissions, any fees, we'll take care of all the calls, we'll even vet all the people that are interested in the property, because we just don't want a bunch of people that can't qualify or don't know what they're doing to walk through. And yeah, so that's kind of essentially what it is. It's just putting in front of more people and listing it for the seller so you can get them a higher price when people come with conventional or FHA financing.
Okay, so how does the rehab, because this one definitely is going to need some work to get there, including a roof.
So do you think it needs a roof in order to qualify for conventional or FHA?
It's pretty bad shape.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I think the rest of it is
in good shape.
What do you think, Sabrina? Like, I thought it was inside decent shape, roof rough shape, right? Yeah, roof, and then, conventional, I think roof is going to be the biggest thing, and then FHA, VA, like, there's quite a few things. Systems, windows. Yeah.
Right. So you would have to probably get a conventional buyer. But so what a lot of people do in this situation is like they'll pay. So since they've signed in the behalf of the seller is allowing them to list it, they also file what's called the notice of interest or affidavit of memorandum, which protects them if they start doing work on the property and the seller just isn't like, hey, forget you. Because, if you're going to put work into the house, you want to be protected, especially if you like start fixing up the roof. So that's an option as well. Like if we put this out there and we have an FHA buyer's like, hey, I'll pay this, but you need to fix the roof, then we could look at it and say, okay, it's totally worth it to fix the roof out of our own pocket because we're going to get an offer like 400 or 410, and we just back that out, we fix the roof, they don't have to come out of pocket for any of the expenses that enable us for it to qualify for the higher offer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so outside of what you have to put into the property, where does the profit go?
So
what is it?
Great question. So for example, like if we were, I'll have to run the numbers to make sure it makes sense and what we could think we could sell it for if we took it to the market. But if we talk to them and you say, hey, look, I know 335 is the cash offer we said we could give you. We're having a hard time, blah, blah, blah. But if we take this open market, I think we can even get you more. We could probably get you 10K more. Like, let's just say 345. So then you would list it at, let's just say, I have to run the numbers again, but 390. And then, you would subtract the commissions from the buyer's agent. That is most likely going to be like 2.5 or 3%. And you would subtract closing costs. And then hopefully we could find an agent that would do it for like really inexpensive. So it'd save us for the listing. Then you make the difference of the profit between like your expenses of what you sold for minus expenses and what you agreed to them on, to give them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So like anything above in that scenario, anything above 345.
Exactly. Yeah. Again, if I ran my numbers, let's just say there's like a 20K spread in there, for example. So that's what you would be able to get. And then at closing, you could release your affidavit of memorandum or your notice of interest, whatever you want to call it, and you release it for the profit. You say, okay, I'm going to release my cloud, and that's and a lot of times people don't even cloud the title. They just do that if they put money into it. But a lot of the other times they just use it as a concession, and they just say, yeah, if you want the roof, we'll just give you a concession for the roof. And sometimes that works where you don't have to put any money into it.
So how does that differ from a net listing then?
I've heard a net listing, but tell me what that is.
Net listing is kind of basically that thing that we set a benchmark, say, I'm going to net you at least 345. Anything above that I keep. Mm-hmm. And that's illegal in Utah. How
is that different than a net listing? I've actually never been asked that question, and that's a great question. It's just, I guess it's the way that it works where you sign the paperwork. It makes it work where you...
Right.
Where you sign the power of attorney, they allow you to list it, and then you sign the right paperwork with the notice of interest to release your cloud for the fee.
Right.
Great question.
Now, I have heard scenarios where agents will, say, hey, I'll come in and rehab it, and then, I get my commission, but then I get a certain percentage of anything over whatever X dollar amount. I want to run it by my broker.
Of course.
But this is a unique scenario where there's 6 siblings involved, and
right.
It's an estate situation.
And about the net listing, the reason why a lot of people do this, investors, do this because they're not agents, right? So they just are like, hey, how am I going to be able to make money on the deal and bring it to MLS where I don't have a license? Like, for example, in Texas, well, you would list it with an agent there, and you'd say, hey, this is the situation, and then they would list it. So, I mean, if you were to do it yourself, I don't know how that would work for your broker, but I have agents that would do it here as well. So, if you're worried about you listing it, we don't necessarily need you to list it. I can list it for one of my people could do it for $1,000, and then we would obviously handle the calls and, vet the people and be like, okay, go see it. But, if you were worried about you doing it, you wouldn't need to do it.
Yeah, find out on the net listing for me. And then, from what I'm understanding is Amber would get it under contract, and then, I could be the agent of record. But it's more so, I don't know. I guess I would just need clarification on that.
Yeah, I'll just tell you how it works. So you sign a real estate purchase contract with the seller that you're going to get them, you're going to buy it for $345 or whatever. And then you sign an attorney in fact and a novation that allows you to list it. And that's the paperwork that they would need to sign, and then you list it.
Right.
You get the offers coming in. People come in, say, hey, you need this or that to qualify, or maybe not. Just give them concessions, and then at the close, they take care of everything on getting us paid. So it's really just if they're open to putting it on the market and not having to worry about commissions, fees, and dealing with a real estate agent that doesn't know how to deal with investors, then we'd be the next best fit.
Interesting. Okay.
Cool.
All right. No, that's super interesting. Okay. Well, Amber, let's chat about it, but let me give the seller a call back, and hopefully he has some good news for us.
All right. Well, it was nice talking to both of you, and if hopefully we can do some deals in the future if this one doesn't work out.
For sure. Thank you so much.
And by the way, if you like this video, smash that like button so more people can see it, and we'll get you more content like this where we show you exactly how to do it step by step.